Hello and welcome to the Wellness and Integrative Oncology Teaching Kitchen. My name is Danielle Katrina. I'm the project manager, and this is Angela Zaccanini, our registered dietitian, who is focusing on lifestyle nutrition. We are so glad to have you here with us today. If you are ever interested in coming to visit our space, we are located on the third floor of Hillman Cancer Center. Today, we are making a Caprese chicken recipe. So, Ange, kick us off. What you're going to teach us today. Do you want me to start chopping up some tomatoes? Not chopping, slicing.
Yes, you know how to do it. In half, then quarter, or half, then half. And I'm going to go grab the mozzarella.
Well, you can do that after.
Yeah. So, like Danielle mentioned, we're doing the Caprese chicken. Chicken gets a little bit boring, but it's an excellent protein source. And because it's a lean protein, it's poultry, it's not red meat. It is, like I said, a great protein source. So to get us started, obviously any type of Caprese recipe uses fresh tomatoes, fresh basil, and mozzarella. I've made this recipe in the past with fresh pesto as well, but this one doesn't call for it. The recipe that I shared in the chat is where we got this particular recipe. It does say to grill the chicken, but we're going to bake it. And our oven is a little different than what you have at home. So we're up to 600 degrees here. It takes a lot less time to cook what we're making so that, we can share all this with you at the comfort of your own home. But when it comes to poultry, the internal temperature should reach 165 degrees. So just to make sure everything is safe, compliant, we're going to try and reach that temperature while we're baking today. And when you pull chicken or any type of meat out of the oven or the stove or on the grill or whatever it is, it will continue to cook post pulling out. So if, say, you just laid it on the counter, kind of covered it with aluminum foil, it's going to cook even further. So that's why, like with red meat or steak, they always say to let it sit afterward and have all the juices kind of excrete and then let it sit to get to that correct temperature. So I'm going to just grab our thermometer. Ready to go.
And this is a great summer recipe as well. And something, it's very easy.
Totally easy, and it takes no time. And of course, we're just making the chicken today. So if you wanted to make it with a side, which is definitely recommended to make it more well-balanced. Of course, you're getting tomato, you're getting basil, so you're getting fresh herbs, you're getting the benefits of tomato, you're getting more protein with the mozzarella. But if you wanted to add a vegetable dish, side of asparagus, on a bed of arugula, some sort of salad to mix it with, you can add zucchini, you can do a cucumber, tomato salad, anything you want on the side to just, again, make that a more well-balanced, filling meal. Because the chicken itself, with the tomato, the mozzarella, and basil, it is pretty nutrient dense, but it's not considered like fully a well-balanced meal without that extra serving of vegetables. So what we did first was we thawed out the chicken breast and we pounded it so that it's pretty thin, what would it be, texture, consistency?
It depends. When you're eating it, I feel like it's a texture issue.
Yeah. So, when you cook a thick chicken breast, it takes a lot longer to make, and then the inside can be a little bit pink. We don't want that with chicken.
I'm like, guys, I'm getting over a stomach bug.
Yeah,
I can't. Like, please don't stop this conversation of thick chicken. You get the point.
Yes.
If you've ever had a thick chicken breast, it's good.
Yeah. So we thinned it out as much as possible. And when you do try to get that internal temperature, you want to put the thermometer right into the center of the chicken breast so that you're getting the correct temperature and making sure that the inside is cooked thoroughly. So to start this off, there's a lot of spices that go into this. We have some Italian seasoning, which is going to be found in your typical spice rack. It's usually just a mixture of like thyme, rosemary, basil, parsley, and it's all dried. Of course, you could use fresh herbs if you prefer, but we're going to first mix up all of these ingredients together in a bowl and then top the chicken with it. So we have the Italian seasoning, we have some onion powder, we have garlic powder, and salt and pepper.
I like how you gave me that like mom head nod, like, yes, I got it. I will do such thing.
Oh,
Can I just start with it?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, not this.
Oh, this is new. Is it not working?
It's not working.
Use the other one.
Okay.
There. Well, that's not good. Yeah, and I just fixed that or made that today. Put that in there. Okay. So 2 teaspoons of salt, which
Maybe a little more.
we don't usually measure our salt and pepper, we just like to wing it with that.
I'll add more pepper.
Yeah, and we are only doing 1 chicken breast, but you want to season both sides of it so that it's completely consistent. 1 teaspoon of our garlic powder. Can see, all right. This is what I did last time, so.
There you go.
All right, so 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Now I'm being more cautious and it's not coming out. Then we did the black pepper, we did the salt, 2 teaspoons of our Italian seasoning. Everything is just going
Cutting board down, that was good, you know?
Yeah. So this would be less of a mess to clean up afterwards. Okay, so you're just gonna mix this all together. Blend all the spices so it's all mixed together. Smells really good. You mentioned that last time, like the garlic powder is so aromatic. It smells fantastic. But of course, if you wanted to use fresh, more power to you. Okay, so before we even add the spices, we're going to just drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top. If you wanted to, you could certainly use a brush to coat it on. And I'm going to just get a spoon and rub it on there evenly. I'm gonna flip this over and do it on the other side as well. And you want to be very careful with raw chicken. You want to, Daniel's like, I'm not looking. You want to use specific things. Like if you have a cutting board, a few at home, you want to use 1 just for raw meats, 1 for vegetables. You want to, definitely keep that opposite. And when you're using utensils, same thing, keep them separate. So we know that this one was used for raw meat. We're going to put it on this plate. Okay, so we have our chicken breast coated with the olive oil. Now we're going to just sprinkle the seasonings on. And we're going to do this front and back. So again, you're going to use that same set of tongs that you used prior to. Add the seasonings right on top. So that was actually good amount of seasonings for this 1 large chicken breast. And this was actually cut in half. So it was a full chicken breast cut in half and then pounded. So the chicken breast that we got was from Whole Foods.
I think so, but you can find thinly sliced chicken breasts at Aldi, anywhere now.
So they're already thinly
They're
cut.
already thinly cut, which is nice, and I would say they're about this size.
Okay.
Thickness,
Okay.
so, which is really nice.
Yeah. So keep in mind with any serving of protein that you want your serving to be about 3 ounces. So looking at this, which is like the size of my fist.
Yeah.
So you can tell here that this serving, here, let me get close up. This is definitely a larger portion, more than 3 ounces. So you could split this probably 3 ways.
Yeah, for sure.
And definitely get your recommended amount. Now, if you go out to eat, that tends to get a little skewed. You could probably definitely have this on your plate. So what I tell patients, families to do is ask for a box as soon as you get your food and portion it so that it is actually 1 serving or 3 ounces. And then of course, start off with a salad, have your vegetable with it, and then use that as an appropriate portion. And you can gauge that with the size of your wrist or like a deck of cards if you actually want to consider what 3 ounces is.
I can just see people like going up there.
Yeah, right. Okay, so chicken breast is ready to go. What we're gonna do now is top it with a few slices of our mozzarella cheese.
Is this okay?
Yep, yep, throw those right on top. That's good. Okay, yeah,
I
she's,
know.
yep, coating that whole chicken breast. Okay, so, depending on how much cheese you want, you can, top it with some thinly sliced mozzarella cheese. So we have 3 slices right there, just covering the entire breast. And then depending on if you like your tomatoes cooked or not, you could just first cook the mozzarella, then add the tomatoes, or just cook it all at once, depending on what you want to do. Now, if you were grilling this, you're going to grill the chicken breast first, then add the tomato on probably like 5 or 10 minutes in, or the mozzarella, I'm sorry. Then again, lastly, you're going to add the tomatoes so that it's not completely mush.
Yeah.
A little bit raw. And then of course, we're gonna top it with some fresh basil. So we're gonna throw this in. So this oven spins 360 degrees, so it cooks things evenly. And because it's at 600 degrees, this is gonna take hopefully not long to cook. I'm gonna start it for just 5 minutes because I'm not sure where we're at. We're at a 505 degrees. So
Okay.
it does take long for this
I
to.
know, I
to
couldn't
heat
ever remember to like start that 45
know.
minutes in.
I started it at like, what, 150?
Oh,
Yeah, because I thought about it, I was like, oh, you gotta start the oven. Okay, so going into this recipe a little bit, like I said, chicken can just be so boring.
yeah.
And we wanted to talk about ways to pack in the protein, but come up with a recipe that is fun and that the whole family would enjoy. Like everybody loves cheese,
Yeah.
And I mean, we've made caprese salads too without the meat. We did just like arugula or some sort of green with the fresh tomato, fresh mozzarella, and then just drizzled that balsamic glaze, which we're gonna do on this recipe too. That balsamic glaze is one of our favorite ingredients in this kitchen.
So good.
So balsamic glaze, you can of course make this at home on your own, but we like to keep things simple around here and just go buy it as is. So this is actually from Whole Foods. I recently purchased mine from Giant Eagle. It's with all the vinegars, the balsamic, whatever. But it's just an excellent ingredient. You can even use this as a dressing.
Okay.
Like a little bit of olive oil, and
What's our sugar on that, Ange? I know,
I was
I'm
just,
so into
she's on
sugar.
it now, because Danielle was the one who, really was a fan for the marketing terms.
Yeah.
So if something said organic, if something said natural, Danielle would buy it, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, let's not get crazy. I didn't buy like organic potato chips. But,
There's people that do that. If you
I
do
know.
that, we don't want you to do that.
But like specifically coffee creamer, like I really got sucked into organic and Ange was just reading the label and being like, no, you gotta read your label.
Yeah.
So it's really important to read your label.
It is, and to understand the label. So.
You got a timer?
It just smelled very strong.
Yeah.
So the label, you want to first look at the serving size. So serving size for this is 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon is only 7 grams of total carbohydrates.
Okay.
Or sugar. 30 calories. So a lot of people look into the calories. If you're struggling with cancer therapy, cancer treatment, you're not getting enough calories, pack in as much nutrition as you can in one meal. So maybe you would use 3 tablespoons of the balsamic glaze, to get some extra calories. Maybe you add a little bit more cheese. And I tell patients that are making even homemade omelets, add whole milk, add more cheese, add more fresh vegetables. Just pack in for, the consumption that you're actually consuming. So if you're trying to lose weight or be at a healthy weight, you definitely want to keep in mind the portions and maybe measure things out.
I was gonna say we should measure this out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty, and I actually don't think that that's that bad compared to like other dressings. I mean, I feel like dressings are like so high in fat.
Yep. And sugar
and salt. Yeah.
I mean, they really, to make them tasty. And a lot of people won't eat lettuce or salads without ranch dressing.
Right.
I
mean, in Pittsburgh, it's kind of a commodity,
I know, it's the best.
So I think that, one thing you can do too is lemon. is great to add on salads. It's such a, I mean, I like sour dressing, so
Okay.
for me, like, I like olive oil, which I know can be high in fat, but it's a good fat.
It's
You just have
healthy
to be
fat.
careful.
Yes.
And then some lemon, salt and pepper, Parmesan cheese.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
that's a good little recipe.
What I do is I use olive oil and then I'll use either a white wine or a red wine vinaigrette
Okay.
or vinegar and just dress it on and keep it simple.
I just said 600.
Low line voltage.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
You know?
There's always something.
Okay, so we have a minute left on this. Let's take a look. Okay.
Oh, it looks
Looking
good.
brown and delicious. Thank you. You better know.
You want them on the stove, on the induction stove?
Okay. So our chicken breast, I don't know if you can see that, but the mozzarella is completely cooked over the breast. The sides of the chicken breast are browned. We're gonna layer some tomato on top.
Now, see, I would re-salt this. I would salt the tomatoes.
That's a great idea.
Really not, okay.
I feel like I can't not eat tomatoes without salt.
I know,
You know, but okay, so we're gonna toss this back in just for a few more minutes.
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
At all time. 2 minutes?
Oh, I meant.
Oh, 2 minutes. Yeah, because I touched
No, I
that.
actually think you're gonna be fine on this.
Okay. So we have 30 seconds left on that timer. So again, think about how quickly this recipe took.
Like that.
Even if you were making multiple breasts, layering it on a baking sheet, same time. I mean, if you're cooking on, in your oven, it's going to take a little bit more time. And of course, you want to check that internal temperature to make sure that you're at that 165, so everything's safe. But
And what if you're not a tomato fan? Like, I'm just like not a tomato fan. I'm into the mozzarella, like whatever.
you're not a tomato fan?
No, I'm just saying, what if?
I'm like, wait, you definitely have ate tomatoes with me. So maybe this recipe wouldn't be for you, but I think you could do like, what about like a zucchini? You could do zucchini or just a pesto
Yeah,
with the mozzarella,
okay.
the balsamic glaze, and just eliminate the tomatoes.
Especially if you're looking for a little bit more nutrients. So you're saying that pesto adds a lot.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And we've made pestos in many different ways here. We've made a walnut pesto. You can use pine nuts. They're a little bit more pricey, but you can do any sort of nut, whatever you want.
And you were just saying that you found a good, like, already made pesto in Aldi.
Yeah.
I also found one at Target.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was good.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
Because I've had the Giant Eagle brand and it just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
Aldi's was definitely better.
Okay.
This week I made tortellini with the pesto, and then I roasted, or I put it on the skillet, cherry tomatoes with garlic and onion, and then just tossed it right on top. So simple,
good, so
easy, and
yeah.
of course you want to get all those vegetables in as much as possible. You could have even thrown some spinach in there,
Yeah.
cooked spinach, I want to cook these a little bit more.
Okay.
So again, what you could use as a side dish for this depends on your preference. It depends on, of course, your family. I feel like a lot of times, like you said, what if you don't like tomatoes? What
Right.
if you don't like asparagus? You're just gonna have to kind of figure out what works best for you and your family. Of course, just baked chicken breasts on their own are so boring,
Yeah.
and just not good.
I like chicken and beef when I don't have to cook it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And I feel like if I make chicken, I end up dicing it up.
Yeah.
Lots of seasonings, lots of fresh herbs, and then throwing it in a salad or having it with a lot of roasted vegetables to keep it simple. And you can do like a 1-sheet pan meal, and do chicken breast and some veggies, but I get a little weary about that because raw chicken and veggies all on the same thing. I'm just
Yeah.
a little weary about raw chicken. And I don't know if any of you have been to like hibachi when they cook the chicken in with the veggies and they're using the same, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah. I haven't been to hibachi in so long.
oh my
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, obviously a dietitian, Serve Safe certified, so these are the things I think about.
And
People
I
cook
think
it
it's
dirty.
Yeah.
But of course, if it's cooked to that right temperature,
Right. I
you're,
mean, I've never gotten sick.
no,
Yeah.
you're lessening that risk of, and the thing is, with the immunosuppressed population, if you're getting treatment, your white blood cell count may drop, you're at a higher risk for infection. So food safety is key. And even if you're, using fresh vegetables, you want to make sure they're well washed, cooking them as much as possible instead of eating them raw. But they're safe to consume, you just gotta be careful.
Okay, well, that looks pretty. I cut those a little bit thick, I feel like.
But no, but they look good.
You don't want them to be soggy, I guess.
No.
Ooh, that's
Look
pretty.
at
I
that.
thought you should take a picture. Instagram.
Okay,
I'll take it for you. How about that?
okay. We have our professional photo, professional assistant, everything. Okay.
I'm just so glad to be the assistant, you know?
Sometimes I wish I was the assistant.
I know. I mean, sorry.
All right, so I'm just gonna get some of these fresh basil leaves out.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking good photos.
That looks
Good one,
great.
right?
Mhm.
All right. Oh, I forgot to do good basil. Oh, I could have been doing that this entire time
Let's see.
as I'm sitting here chatting with you.
No, it's good, that's what we want.
All right.
Find the pretty leaves.
Okay.
And cut them in nice little slivers, like ribbons. Okay, so 1 tablespoon ribbons. Okay, so 1 tablespoon would be that 30 calories, the 7 grams of carbohydrates. Don't be afraid of carbohydrates. I feel like a lot of
They get a bad rap.
they sure do. A lot of course, you know, the oncology population as well is afraid of sugars, and I'm sure your friend, a family member, a doctor, a nurse maybe has told you before to eliminate sugars. So carbohydrates are sugar, they break down into sugar in our body, but it's where we get our energy. So if you don't get enough carbohydrates, you're gonna feel fatigued, you're gonna feel weak, but you also wanna choose the right carbohydrates. So simple carbohydrates are gonna be like white breads, white cereals, cookies, cakes, pasta, pop, simple sugars. Now, complex sugars or complex carbs are gonna be your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, your beans, legumes. So we want more of that in the diet, don't be afraid of it, okay? So I'm actually gonna put this on a plate so that we can dress it up.
Sorry, I took your plate away.
No, because we needed that, that was raw chicken.
Save.
That's right. Oh,
What do you need? How about a fork?
Oh. So you guys can see it on a plate. And this is like, even if you had some friends coming over, or, you know, I think this would be excellent.
And it looks bougie.
It does.
Doesn't it look bougie?
It does.
You know, I started watching that Disney movie Luca.
Yeah.
It's so cute, and it's like, oh,
I know, I love it. I love when the girl says Santa Mozzarella. It's like, oh my gosh, yep.
Okay.
Dress
I don't
it
know
up.
if these are like ribbon enough for you, but,
And that's perfect.
oh, okay, now I gotta take this.
Okay, do you want to drizzle the balsamic on?
Wait, we gotta measure it. We have to
Oh,
measure
right.
it? Yeah. So I wanna see Amy gonna, well, I meant measure the balsamic, but you.
Oh.
Both, okay.
This one takes a long time.
I know, we were like, are we super undercooked, or like, what's happening? What does it need to get to? 165.
Might be here all afternoon.
A cup of coffee now, it's actually going pretty fast. I feel like it's going faster, maybe. But it's really good to check that.
No,
I'm
yes.
always constantly like cutting open the chicken, and then I like get anxious, I turn it on side, I overcook it. Maybe this is why I'm not a fan of chicken.
And 2, whenever you are checking the temp of any sort of meat, you want to make sure that you're not putting the thermometer so deep that it's touching like the bottom of the pan, or the plate, so that you can get like a false reading. See, like, it's already like slowing down.
Yeah, it's weird. Thank goodness it doesn't take this long to take our temperatures. Could you imagine after this year, there'd be lines forever.
It's going down. But then again, I feel like it's the cheese.
Yeah, I think so. You gotta get to the chicken. We not, how about that?
You're all up.
Oh, there you go, you got a good one on that side.
Now, depending on what meat you're cooking, poultry is the one that has the highest temp, you know, because it is the highest risk.
So you can't like eat that like medium rare.
No, definitely can't. Salmonella will be your friend.
Yeah, and you don't want that as a friend.
Nope, never. Well, I have to throw it.
Okay.
But, okay, we're just gonna dress this plate up. You wanna put the balsamic on?
Yeah.
Oh, measure it
I'll
out.
measure it first.
Okay.
That's it. So one tablespoon?
Yeah.
Oh, you sure? Yeah. Why do I ever?
She questions the boss. The assistant's questioning the boss.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
I mean, that's, okay, look, Dave. Wait, hold on, I'm gonna walk this over.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm a
30
dressing
calories.
person. I'm a dressing person, but like, look at that. Oh, wait, you can't see. Sorry. That's a lot. Like, you're getting like, it's like, you know, sometimes I feel like, oh, good, I can have the dribble.
No.
Thanks. But I'm just gonna kind of dump this on here. It's hard because that squirt thing is so much better.
Yeah, it's definitely thicker consistency,
Yeah,
obviously.
out of
than
the
balsamic
squirted,
vinegar.
yeah. But out of the bottle, it's easier to dress. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's a lot for
That's a
one chicken
lot.
breast.
I don't think you need that for like,
And keep in mind, that's more than 3 ounces for sure.
yeah.
So I'm gonna show you what this plate looks like, and keep in mind, there is a chicken breast under all this. So you can see, it's all dressed up. That mozzarella is just baked to perfection on top. It's a little browned. Your tomatoes are soft and cooked, the fresh balsamic or the fresh basil on top. And then this would be excellent on a plate of arugula,
Yeah.
you know,
For
and
sure.
just dice
And
it up.
asparagus, I feel like too. I mean, that would be lovely. So.
Yep.
Well, Ange, thank you so much. We are here every Friday for the month of July and August at 2:00. So we're gonna stop our recording right now, and then we'll open up for some questions to our virtual and in-person audience. Thanks so much.